We are live.
Yes, we are.
What's up? What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah, you sound tired, but you don't look tired, and that's the point. You know what I mean? That's what matters, kid.
That is what matters.
Well, I do got some good news. I got a specific certificate at my job to like a certification to run some boilers. Something I needed. You have to take a test for.
Nice.
It's 1 out of 6 tests that I need, and I passed it. $25 out of my pocket in order to take it. $25. It's a $25 investment.
It's not bad.
I'm saying, yeah, it's bad when you fail the first time, and then you take it again for the second time. So it's really $50 out of your pocket.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
Nice.
It's an Xbox game, man.
Exams.
You know what I mean?
Exams that if I were to fail an exam for my job, it's a lot more than $50 to retake that test.
Oh, really? I didn't know your job had like tests to take so that you can like get certain certifications and maybe, you know, move up when pay or something like that.
Yeah, I already took one, which was pretty easy. Well, it was a little difficult, but I passed that one. The next one is going to be an Apple certification. That's going to be tough. And
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Oh, no,
certifications are really expensive.
Wow. You just gotta study. Do they make you take tests for it? Just asking.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. Do you make you take classes for it? I meant to say.
No, it's just studying. It's just studying out of I have like a textbook, and then like there's like a website where I could take like a practice exam.
Oh yeah, you got that, bro. You could go to Quizlet, which is an app, and you can type in the type of test you're gonna take, and it literally helps you study with like things from the test. That's what I did. So
I'll check it out.
with that being said, I wish people studied a little bit about politics because I'm about to show them a little something that they should be focusing on when trying to choose who they should be voting for in like a Democratic or Republican primary in terms of what that person's true intentions are. Man, you would never believe what happened to me the other day. I got a text from a woman named Alessandra Biaggi. She's from the New York State Senate. I don't pay enough attention to politics to know who she was beforehand. She's not from my district.
She's the current senator. She holds a seat right now.
She holds a seat in the New York State Senate.
Okay.
And she is dropping out of that seat because the congressman from her District 3, which is where she's running from, Tom Suozzi, he's leaving. He wants to become governor, so he stepped down. So she wants that seat. Understandable.
I thought you said
More
she was
power.
dropping out of the seat. But...
Well, she's dropping out of the Senate state seat. She wants to become a congresswoman.
Okay, that makes sense.
Suozzi is the congressman, and he's stepping down to become governor. So she's trying to take his spot.
That makes sense.
So, you know, they hit me up on my freaking phone. They're texting me, yeah, vote, you know, try to, you know, campaign for her and volunteer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, there's a lot of trickery that goes down in politics. Who does she support in the primaries? That's what I said. And they respond back where she's a women's right supporter, and she does this and she does that. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker dodged the question, this son of a bitch. Whoever this is, they dodged the question. I don't like that. So I Googled her. Red flag, automatically, guys. You know, you ask a question, you should fucking receive a goddamn answer.
If a politician
you know
doesn't give a direct answer to a question, red flag.
Red flag all day. So the fucking red flag was waving in the damn air. I decide to Google her because that's, you know, what can you do? I learned so much. First of all, her grandfather and her father both went down for corruption in 1988. They were both politicians, and they both got slammed with corruption charges.
Yes.
That's embarrassing. Now, whatever your mother or father has done in the past should not be reflected on you, although it should be looked at a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with that being said, I look to her. I look into her. I think I sent you the link to her page where her policies, right? So I go to her page and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If she's a progressive, like the type of progressive that I want to be a in Congress,
Mm-hmm.
I know what to look for, you know? So first off, if you're a progressive, you're for Medicare for all. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, for Medicare for all. If you're not for Medicare for all, you're either an idiot and I don't want you in Congress at all, or you are with bad faith. You know what I mean? Like you are probably most likely being paid not to advocate for it because it just makes the most sense financially, morally. And so when I go all the way down to her, to what she says about healthcare, red flag number two. Okay, actually, yeah, red flag number two. I was gonna say red flag number three because of grandfather and father, but like I said, I'm gonna let her rock with that one. So we're back at two. But red flag number two, delivering. If you just scroll down, delivering affordable healthcare. Scroll down a little bit. I need to watch.
Yep. I got you.
Actually, a lot more than that. I think it's a blue. See how they're all different colors? Go to blue. The other blue. There you go.
There we go.
So that's the first thing I saw. Delivering affordable healthcare. Affordable is the key word there, guys. Okay? Healthcare shouldn't be affordable. Healthcare should be free. Right? Why do I say this? You think it's just my fucking opinion? No, it's not. It's not just my fucking opinion. Other countries that are superpowers in the world have some form of free healthcare. So that's why I'm saying Medicare for all is the obvious choice. They have their own versions of Medicare for all in their own countries. We got England, France, Germany, fucking Switzerland, all these countries. But here in America, you gotta pay if you're sick. And that's what she means when she says affordable.
Yep.
Okay? So, good healthcare is a human right. Every American deserves affordable, quality healthcare that meets their needs. The Affordable Care Act was a critical step. We should still work towards creating an effective single-payer healthcare system. Now, if she was for a single-payer healthcare system, she would just say Medicare for all. But she doesn't say Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Right?
So single payer doesn't always necessarily mean universal health care. Is it better than what we have now? Yeah. But it's also not saying much. We need more than single payer. We need universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
Affordable, the word affordable is a red flag. And the word access is also a red flag. Anytime you hear access to healthcare, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
That means that it's code for we don't really care to change the current healthcare system. It's just politics speak, politics language, politician language to make you think that I'm for improving something, but I'm not. So they say things like affordable or access to, which
Yeah.
which is
Access
bullshit.
to saying like you have the ability to have insurance. We're allowing you to buy insurance. You have access
Yeah,
to it,
access
right?
to it's bullshit, man. Don't fall for it.
So then I'm like, fuck, man. This, all the information I have of this chick on her own policies, red flags. So I go, you know what? Let me see. Let me see if I can Wikipedia her. So as I Wikipedia, they show me some tweets, and in the tweets I saw a very strong progressive. His name is Jamaal Bowman. He defeated Elliot Engel and was kind of like a Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez style race where he took no corporate PAC money. He's a Justice Democrat, I believe. And he won, which was amazing. The fact that he won. And then I realized, oh wait, this guy is endorsing Bianchi.
Yeah.
Okay, which is interesting. That he's endorsing her. She doesn't seem to be all too well for the policies he is for. I mean, she's really good on social issues like, education, universal health, pre-K. She's good with women's protective rights. Protecting women's rights, protecting access to abortion and reproductive health care for women. That's great. All that stuff is good, but they're also like very duh things, right? Like duh. I mean, who's not for that? You know what I mean? So I was wondering why the hell he endorsed her, and I found out that she endorsed him in his run. So I'm like, I see. You rub my back, I rub your back. He's playing it that way. But then I just recently found out, listen, she only endorsed him because Elliot Engel, his opponent at the time, he got into huge controversy, if you remember, Denny.
Yes.
If you remember what I'm talking about, you remember he was caught in a hot mic saying, look, if this wasn't the primaries, I wouldn't even be here. I don't even care. You know what I mean? And that went viral because he was recorded saying that without his knowledge. It went viral, and he's basically was saying, I don't give a fuck if you guys, I just want to win. I just want to coast and win. I'm not going to do anything for you guys. I don't even live in New York. I think he lived in PA at the time, or Virginia.
Yeah.
So I started looking for who's the real progressive, and that's when I found her, guy. Just running in the same exact race, we got Melanie D'Arrigo. Melanie D'Arrigo. And she's everything you can ever ask for as a progressive. You go to her website, you go to healthcare. She freaking look at how she breaks down Medicare. First of all, it's straight Medicare for all. She's all in for Medicare for all.
Straight up says Medicare for all.
Yeah, but the way she breaks it down, if you scroll down and actually see how she breaks it down, you have to scroll you see, you're sick. Now what? It reminds me of Denzel Washington. Sick? Help!
Oh, this
sick?
is cool. I like this.
Help! Oh, it's amazing. Look at that. She's like on the Medicare for all, simple, on our current system, ball breaker.
Yeah, I like how she says public system, or current system / public option. That's great that she put that because not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people, because the public option, just like single payer. See, public option is single payer. That's another version of it, and a lot of corporate Democrats like to counter the Medicare for all argument with public option. But as you can see here, public option and our current system is the same shit. It's slightly, very, very slightly better than what we have now, but barely. It's not saying much, as you can see here.
Yeah. And then also, most people don't realize, you see how she breaks it down. You're paying a co-payment. You pay, you pay out of pocket, premiums, whatever. Premiums go up and down, so you don't know what you're paying one year next to the other year. And then at the end of the day, you're still paying taxes for healthcare overall, federally. So you're getting whopped in the head 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. Whereas if you get Medicare for all, you only get whopped in the head once, but it's for the benefit of all the people, including yourself, your family. All that peace of mind is lifted off your shoulders. Your mother has cancer or something like that. You don't have to worry about it. She's going to get treated 100%. In today's system, your mother gets cancer, you might have to sell your fucking house to keep her alive. And even with all those payments that you made to the doctors, because they won't take care of her if you ain't got the money. And the money is a lot. And once, when you start it, your insurance is going to help you out, but only for so long. You'll probably have 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, maybe of the insurance helping you out. And then they cut you out. Like, listen, you just hit your peak. We can't pay for your, what's that? The chemo therapy anymore. So then you end up financially getting hit with a burden. Most families already experience this. People listening to this now probably experience this. On the Medicare for all, you have peace of mind. Other countries look at us and they fucking like, what? They laugh at us. You know what I mean? They laugh at us. but yeah, man, and when you keep continue to scroll down, I like when she goes, "Let's compare the plans." You got Medicare
Yeah,
for
the
all, public
dedicated.
option,
Yeah.
which, by the way, Biagi is she goes, we have to make our current system better. It was a great first step, our current system, but I want to go towards public option. We need to work towards the public option. Whereas the Arrigo is all in for Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Everything is right here.
And another thing about politicians who like to run on the public option, when they do get elected or if they get elected into office, they drop that as well. They don't run, they don't advocate for public option anymore once they get elected. They're done. That's it. They drop it completely. Completely. This is tried and true. We've seen it now with Biden, with Kamala Harris, with so many corporate Democrats who are like, no, Medicare for all is not the way. It's a public option. We need a public option. So many of them said that, and they all drop it once they're in office.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's correct, man. And if you're paying attention to politics, and you're all about policies that benefit the people, like Medicare for all, realize that only the real progressives are for Medicare for all, and policies like global warming reform and climate
Green New
change
Deal.
reform, police reform, Green New Deal, all these things that help the people, and things that just make sense. And when you look at someone like Melanie D'Arrigo and Alessandra Biaggi, you can tell the differences so far apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Melania's the one. You know what I mean? So it sucks that Jamaal Bowman, who's a Justice Democrat, and decides to wash your back, wash my back, I wash your back with Biaggi. It sucks that he's not endorsing the true progressive in the race. But hopefully people listening to us here in New York, and they see they see what I did, and figuring it out. I mean, you don't got shit to do. Just it's a few clicks, a few Googles, a few research, and you'll figure it out real quick, bro. Who's there for you and who's not.
yeah. So with Biagi, you can see it's just her entire page, her entire site is a red flag because
Hmm.
these are platitudes. These are all platitudes. Platitudes. Climate. This is her climate plan. There's no plan. She said we should do all this. How? She's not mentioning.
Right.
She doesn't mention the Green New Deal not once. That's how.
Hmm.
Protecting our democracy. Platitudes. 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 Doesn't talk about anything important. Doesn't mention any policy. Nothing. Hold those who assault our democracy accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Who is she talking about? It's an invisible enemy. That's another strategy that they do. Create invisible enemies. That's a Republican strategy, actually. So that's
Right.
that's lovely seeing that from a Democrat.
Well, at this point, since the Democratic Party is taken over, this has been taken over by corporate Democrats.
Yeah.
Democrats with like a fake D next to their name. Then they're, if you think about it like that, they are both doing it. At this point in the political spectrum, you got only a small percentage of Democrats within the Democratic Party that's completely, policy wise, they're completely at war with their own party within the Democratic Party, but just policy wise. You got about
Yeah.
80% of them that are corporatists, and you got like 20% of them that are, Melanie D, Arrigo, Bernie Sanders, AOC style politicians that are like, what about, let's pass affordable, let's pass Medicare for all. Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
It's so obvious what to do.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Bowman goes, the shitty part of politics is them having to play politics, and
Right.
there's a good chance that Biagi is probably really has like a really progressive policy platform in one specific area, but that one specific area is something that Bowman is trying to accomplish and pass for his constituents. So
Right.
when sometimes when it comes to that, they'll endorse the person who they feel like can put a vote down on their bill and help them pass the policy that they want to pass. I've seen it before. It's happened before where, sometimes there's a Democrat who leans mostly corporate, but in this one specific area, they'll be super progressive because they don't take any money from any corporations in that area. So they're good to be really progressive there and pass whatever bills there. For example, if there's a Democrat who doesn't take money from the healthcare industry, but they do take money from other industries, they'll say that they're for Medicare for all because they're not taking that money, so it's fine. They can run on that, and they can look really progressive on that. But in reality,
Right.
they are taking tons of money elsewhere. So, that's the shitty part. We do need those votes as well. If they are in office, we do need those votes for Medicare for all and whatever else it is. But at the end of the day, that person still needs to be voted out because they're corrupt. And, we can get that Medicare for all vote from a real progressive and not from a corporate Democrat who is only progressive on like one thing.
Right. Yeah. But imagine if he stood true to his morals and he was like, you know what, this girl's good with, Biagi's good with women's rights, which is what she's famous for, women's rights and, making sure women's reproductive stuff is pretty good. She's very, very well known for that. And so maybe you're right. Maybe he's trying to do that. But who's to say Melanie D'Arrigo is not that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's for all the politics he's for. You know what I mean? Imagine if he said, you know what, you endorse me, but you're not aligned with my policies 100%. But she is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to endorse the new girl. I'm going to endorse the new one coming up, just like I was when I was coming up. You know what I mean? All he has to understand is this. She only endorsed you because days after Engel was caught in that hot mic, bro, she was going to endorse him just like she was going to endorse him before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She
already endorsed him before in the past.
It could also be as simple as she was endorsing Engel. Engel said a bunch of stupid shit. She approached Bowman or Bowman's team and said, I'll take my endorsement away and I'll give it to you, but you have to give me yours. And he said yes. And that's it. It's probably as simple as that. And that's it.
It most likely is simple as that. Yeah.
It's most likely as simple as that. They just traded 1 for 1. He saw it as a win. He could get elected, and it worked. He did get elected. So this is politics.
I would not be a good politician. I would not be a good politician. Son.
Yeah, this is politics.
I wouldn't, because I would have fucking lied to that fucking bitch ASAP, dude. I would have.
Yeah.
I would have lied. I'd be like, yeah, don't worry about it. I got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Melanie!
Well, regardless, I hope Melanie D'Arrigo, I hope she wins. I'll definitely throw a few bucks.
It's important. It's important, bro. Yeah, man. Maybe when is that race?
It is June 28th of this year.
Oh man, why don't we put our money where our mouth is and do it together on the American Brain Rot? We'll do it all together, man. Donate to hers, we'll donate to Nina's.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
and we'll donate to Gary Chambers too.
Yeah, of course.
Because I haven't donated to them yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the primary is on the 28th and the general is on the 8th, but we mentioned this before. The primary that's the important one. The general, they're gonna go against the Republican. They're gonna win. This is a blue district. They'll win. It's the primary. Primaries. If there's anything,
and it's gonna most likely be Melania versus Alessandra, Biaggi versus D'Arrigo. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be them. Let's throw in her video, and then we'll go toward we'll showcase another upcoming progressive, Mr. Gary Chambers, who's now sending out his second ad that is just as controversial as his first one from episode, I believe it was one,
Maybe
where he
more.
was smoking weed.
I
It was
think a
called
little more
37
than the
Seconds.
first one.
It may be a little bit more controversial, but let's showcase Milani right now.
What does people power look like? It looks like a movement of people tired of waiting for what could be and using their collective power to fight for what should be. Where we put the future of our planet over the profits of big oil. Where every child is guaranteed a high-quality education, food to eat, and clean water to drink. Where every American has the right to healthcare without going broke or worse. Where who you are, who you love, and where you're from doesn't stop you from being who you want to be. Where race and gender don't limit your success, safety, or autonomy over your own body. People-powered means that lobbyists don't control us. Our values do. It means the needs of our communities always come before the needs of billionaires. And we commit to helping everyone at the expense of no one. Are you ready to fight with me? This is our moment. This is our America. And we have the power to decide how we move forward. Join us. I'm Melanie Dorigo, running for Congress in New York's 3rd District, and I approve this message.
Okay, Cora.
I loved it. She had a lot of symbolism there. You know, it's amazing, man. You can tell she's for a lot of those things. She saw the solar panels being put down. You know, says that she's for Green New Deal, or you can tell that she's going towards the right direction when it comes to policies. And like I said, when you look at her website, it's everything you can want a politician to be, and obviously the number one thing is she doesn't take any corporate PAC money from any billionaires or corporations, which is the number one thing for me. You know what I mean?
It should always be the number one thing, not
should be the number one thing for everybody. Money. You see, this is what I'm for. Melania D'Arrigo, Bernie Sanders, and now you're about to see another man, and his name is Gary Chambers. Let's put up that new ad, man. This is exciting.
They said we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. But here in Louisiana and all over the South, Jim Crow never really left, and the remnants of the Confederacy remain. In 1873, when a black man named PBS Pinchback won a U.S. Senate race, he was never seated. They claimed election fraud. The attacks against black people, our right to vote, and participate in this democracy are methodical. Gerrymandered districts are a byproduct of the Confederacy. Our system isn't broken. It's designed to do exactly what it's doing, which is producing measurable inequity. 1 in 13 black Americans are deprived of the right to vote. 1 in 9 black Americans do not have health insurance. 1 in 3 black children live in poverty. It's time to burn what remains of the Confederacy down. I do believe the South will rise again, but this time, it'll be on our terms. I'm Gary Chambers, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Damn, son.
They said
Damn. I mean, how cool does he look, bro? Remember before he had the suit, smoking some weed, sitting down in some bayou or Louisiana swamp looking area. Now I don't know where the fuck he is, but he's burning the Confederate flag. I mean, what the hell, And then he puts on these cool ass glasses. Like, bro, that ad is cool. What do you?
It's great. I mean, I think it's the best thing about his ads is that it's drawing attention, good or bad, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the attention is bad. It's drawing a ton of attention. So that's the more eyes on your campaign, the better. Always. Always. And that even applies to Republicans. I mean, look at Trump. He got a ton of eyes to go on his campaign, and it worked. And this is similar to that. So these ads are great. I hope he keeps them up. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this race. Actually, let me look up now.
You know what I'll say about it is, whenever I think about the Confederacy and people who still support it, you have to remember the Confederacy Army was consisted of people who betrayed the United States. They seceded from the United States. A lot of people think, oh, they fought for their rights. Okay, well, yeah, that seems patriotic, but you have to remember that there was a vote first, right? The United States had a vote on which way they were leaning towards ending slavery or not ending slavery. Ending slavery won democratically, so people voted to end slavery overall. I don't know how close the race was, but the side of ending slavery won. And the Confederacy and the people who became eventually the Confederacy, the South, they did not like that they lost democratically. And so they succeeded. So the Confederate flag is basically a flag of traitors to a democracy of what America is all about, right? America is all about democracy. So if you support the Confederacy, you're supporting traitors. My point is, him burning that flag symbolizes so much about like racism, slavery, civil rights. Like he said in his video, gerrymandering, the fact that, they cut the maps on certain states a certain way so that Republican voters can win. They'll make a Republican section of the state Republican leaning like bigger than the Democrats leaning, and so you have Republicans winning elections when cheating. You know what I mean? In Louisiana and other states. So when you know all these things, it's so cool to see him burn that flag because it's probably the most American thing you can do. If you ever in an ad, you have all these Republicans with guns and they're shooting in the air and blowing up cars. They think that's American, and all he did was take a lighter and burn a flag, and it defeats what they think as American by like 100 times. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about his ad, and I'm sure he'll do maybe 3 or 4 ads in total. I can only imagine for the next one.
Yeah, I hope he keeps them coming. This primary is November 8th, which is a while away. I've never seen a primary and then a general back to back. That's really weird, but whatever. It is what it is. And he's trying to unseat a Republican, which is hard in the South. That's hard to do, but if anybody can do it, it's him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good Democrat. I mean, there's a good demographic of black voters in Louisiana. There's a lot of them out there. They just got to be. His job would be to get them to be eligible to vote.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I don't know anything about Louisiana. I would probably assume that there's a lot of voter suppression in that bitch. You know what I mean? And so his campaign's gonna have to find out how to counter that and how to get them to be eligible to vote before the primaries. So if it really is in November 8th, there's a lot of time for him to do that. There's a lot of time for him to do that. He just has to be working today, like right now. You know what I mean? He can win. He can win, especially if he goes around to those. Yeah, it's okay. He can win, especially if he goes around those communities that vote for him. I mean, what is he? He's trying to be in Congress, right?
no,
If he's oh no, for the Senate.
yeah,
Oh yes, for the Senate. Yeah, that means he has all of Louisiana to travel through, bro. And all he has to do is show Louisianans his ads, bro, and it's gonna be enough to persuade a lot of people. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, that race. That race is going to be really, really interesting. But if there's anybody that needs to win, it's Gary Chambers for sure. And as hopeful as it is, I'm gonna dream of a Senate and a House that has Gary Chambers and Nina Turner in it. It's
Hey,
it's a
Arrigo too.
it's a dream, but we got to do our best to make
Policy
it come true.
wise, Arrigo too. she's gonna vote with Nina Turner. She's gonna vote for Gary Chambers. She's gonna vote for Jamaal Bowman, AOC, Bernie Sanders. She's gonna vote. I mean, we need all of them there. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm excited, bro.
Yeah.
What's going on with this fucking guy Biden, bro? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Biden, man. Me and Denny are Democrats, right? We're within the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I'm not a Democrat. I'm registered as a Democrat because progressive politicians have to run as Democrats in order to win. So I'm registered as a Democrat for them. I am not a Democrat.
What?
Not at all.
All right.
Democrats
So you're
are
not a
awful.
Democrat.
I'll never be a Democrat.
But you do vote Democrat. Is that what you're saying?
I vote Democrat because progressive politicians register as Democrats because that's their only real chance of winning. Third parties are garbage. They don't win. I would love a third party. I would love a fourth party and a fifth party, but that's not going to happen. Progressives, leftists, socialists, they have to run as Democrats in order to win. It's been proven. AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and so on. Jamaal Bowman, they have to. So if they're running as a Democrat, then I'm gonna register as a Democrat to support them and vote for them.
All right. Well, I understand. You know, a good example of that would be Bernie Sanders was actually an independent. But when he was running for president, he had to switch to Democrat in order to just be in the primaries and in the debates.
Exactly.
Because if you're an independent or if you're a third party, the two-party system, Republicans and Democrats, they make it so that those people cannot enter the debates. So even if he stood as an independent, he would have never been able to enter the Democratic primaries and debate on TV. He would be just a regular name on the ballot and he would get shitted on. You know, I'm sorry, ignored. So,
well, both
you're
ignored and shit on, because he still got shit on even as a Democrat. They shit on him relentlessly, endlessly on any mainstream network. They always shit on Bernie Sanders. So, but yeah, I mean,
right.
You just can't run for president as an independent. You know, he was able to win as an independent because, one, it's in Vermont, which is, you know, it's much smaller than New York or California and stuff.
Right.
And, you know, Vermont is they're fairly progressive, and obviously he's very progressive. So, you know, certain people.
Also, he was a senator from Vermont for decades.
Mayor.
And he was also.
He's senator now. He was a mayor and he was a congressman. So he was well known coming up. That's why he can win as an independent. But that's few and far between. People can't really win as independents. It's really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I meant to say that I thought he was a senator from Vermont for a very long time. Like he, you know, it's probably he's probably way hard to become a congressman or to run as a independent as a congressman or senator or anything in the political spectrum in this day and age, like, because you're just not gonna get any support anywhere, bro. You know, I mean, if you're an independent, you're asking not to be covered at this point. You know what I mean? You got to choose Republican or Democrat. But he gets that pass because when he became an independent senator, you know, it was a long time ago. He just held his position because people like him. They like his policies, and that's it.
Yep.
All right, but this guy, anyway, we're going towards Biden. The reason why we're talking about that was because freaking Biden. I was originally trying to say that although me and Denny vote Democrat, we do not support Joe Biden. He's just not doing much, bro. He's not doing shit right now. And the latest controversy with Biden is he took what I believe was $7 to $8 billion away from the Afghanistan country, and about what? Let me see.
So he
$7 billion from Afghanistan.
Frozen assets from Afghanistan. meant for the Afghan people and is going to give that money to 9/11 victims, essentially insinuating that Afghanistan had something to do with 9/11, which it did not. And that's been proven time and time again. There's the Afghan papers. There's, so much reporting that's gone on that shows that Afghanistan had no involvement in 9/11, but he's still taking their money to give to 9/11 victims, which is trash, and it's completely fucked up.
Absolutely, man. And the crazy shit is the real people that were involved in the 9/11 attacks. Saudi Arabia. There were some people from the country of Egypt that was in there, and I think maybe one or two from Somalia, something like that.
Mostly Saudi Arabia.
But it was mostly Saudi Arabia, and most likely funded by Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is like our biggest ally right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and they murdered one of our own journalists.
Yep. Jamaal Khashoggi.
Pretty basically horrible in the embassy of all places. And Trump was like, they didn't do shit about it, bro.
Yep. Saudi
Arabia. You can't kill an American and then America does nothing about it, bro. By principle, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest buyers for U.S. weapons. So that's all that matters to the United States. As long as they're buying, they're selling. And they don't give a shit. And Saudi Arabia is using those weapons to commit genocide in Yemen as we speak.
Yeah, man, it's a shame. I know we mentioned that in the other podcast. A lot of children dying, and you know what? Biden taking this money from Afghanistan's Federal Reserves, that's gonna cripple the people in Afghanistan financially. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of deaths. I know the story was covered on Democracy Now!, one of my favorite news sources. Let's check it out.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Afghanistan's central bank is condemning President Biden's decision to seize $7 billion of Afghan assets frozen in U.S. banks. On Friday, Biden signed an executive order to split the money between the families of 9/11 victims and humanitarian assistance for Afghanistan. The United States froze the money after the Taliban seized power 6 months ago today. The United Nations and many aid groups had been calling on the Biden administration, as well as the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, to unfreeze all Afghan funds in order to stem Afghanistan's growing economic and humanitarian catastrophe. Congressmember Ilhan Omar blasted Biden's decision. She tweeted, "There wasn't a single Afghan among the hijackers. Meanwhile, we are giving billions of dollars to the governments of Saudi Arabia and Egypt who have direct ties to the 9/11 terrorists. Even if this weren't the case, punishing millions of starving people for these crimes is unconscionable," she said. Former Afghan President Hamid Karzai also criticized Biden's decision.
The Afghan people are as much victims as those families who lost their loved ones are. In that withholding money or seizing money from the people of Afghanistan in that name is unjust and unfair and an atrocity against the Afghan people. This money does not belong to any government. This is the property of the Afghan people, and the Afghan people are the rightful owners of this property. I request President Joe Biden to reconsider his decision and to return the totality of Afghan assets, reserves back to the people of Afghanistan.
Earlier this month, Pramila Jayapal, the chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, spoke about the connection between U.S. sanctions and the crisis in Afghanistan.
After our withdrawal from Afghanistan, U.S. sanctions on the Taliban have impacted the broader functioning of the entire Afghan government, including schools and hospitals, which cannot buy food for the patients or gas to heat their buildings. The New York Times reports that according to aid organizations, starvation could kill 1 million children this winter. These fatalities could far exceed civilian deaths resulting from 20 years of war. The United States has frozen $9.4 billion of the Afghan central bank's foreign reserves, making it impossible for the country's financial system to function and threatening to collapse the entire economy.
We're joined now by 3 guests.
All right, we'll stop it right there. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
I mean, let it be known that Ilhan Omar and Pramila Jayapal, 2 huge progressives in Congress, and I believe is Jayapal a senator?
No, she's a
she's a congresswoman. She's head of the progressive
caucus. Yep.
caucus. Yes, she's head of the progressive
She's also
caucus.
the co-author of one of the Medicare for All bills.
Right, it's hers, and then it's I think Bernie Sanders.
No, it's 2 different bills. They have 2 different bills.
Okay, yeah, so I'm saying hers and Bernie Sanders are the 2 different ones, right?
They're not co-authors together. They have 2 different bills.
Yeah, they have 2 different ones. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's 2 different ones. But hers is arguably a little bit better than I remember hearing than Bernie Sanders. But still, my point is, these are the people who are saying the logical points when it comes to what Biden's doing, right?
Yep.
Biden is going to decimate a whole bunch of lives out there in Afghanistan for no fucking reason, and billions of those dollars are going to go to governments of Saudi Arabia and Egypt, and these are the people who fucked us in the first place. So it's like the world is backwards, bro, and it's kind of like depressing a little bit.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, you're just taking money that's rightfully for the Afghan people, and you're essentially just framing them still for something that they didn't do. Still,
Right.
framing them for 9/11 just because they're brown people who live near the other country that did it. It's disgusting. It's racist. It's
And it's
awful.
a slap. It's
awful.
a slap to the face of anybody who had someone die from the 9/11 catastrophe, and a slap to the face to these New Yorkers in general, bro. Because if you're in New York, you know about 9/11, obviously, and if you know about 9/11, you care enough about to find out what's going on. Like, why did this happen to us? And then you'll find out real quick. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, for whatever reason, they attacked us. And that Afghanistan was pretty much framed, like my boy Denny just said.
It's a slap in the face overall to the Afghan people in the country of Afghanistan, period. It's a slap in the face to all of them because they're going to suffer because of this. And it sucks. It's not fair. It's terrible. It's terrible. And this country just continues to do awful things specifically to the Middle East and brown people on the other side of the world. It's disgusting.
Let's get these progressives in, baby. Let's get these progressives in, and let's push out these motherfucking corporatists out of the goddamn party.
Yeah.
There's no hope for the Republican Party. I mean, the Republican Party is all corrupt. I wish there was a Republican politician that was like, you know what, I'm not going to take any corporate PAC money. And
he wouldn't be a Republican anymore, though. He would just be
they
a
would
Democrat.
they would destroy him. They would destroy him. Yeah. Actually, I think one guy tried to do that, and they kicked him out. They literally kicked him out.
Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap it up is the Texas Democratic primary for the midterms is underway. The early voting is underway, and the primary officially starts on March 1st. There's 2 pretty big progressives running that we need in Texas because Texas is Texas. And Jessica Cisneros is one of them. She ran last time and lost to Henry Cuellar, who is one of the most corrupt Democrats there ever was. He's awful, and he's been in that seat forever. He's probably next in line to become speaker after Nancy Pelosi. He's essentially today's Joe Crowley. That's who he is right now, and he needs to go.
Oh,
He has
dude,
to
imagine.
go. Jessica Cisneros came really, really close last time. If I can find the results for last time, I'll pull it up. Here are her endorsements: Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Jamaal Bowman, Steny Hoyer, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Katie Porter, Ayanna Pressley. Those are big endorsements. Actually, sorry, Steny Hoyer is for Henry Cuellar because Hoyer is garbage. He's corrupt. My bad. Everybody else is progressive. And for Cisneros, of course. Look at all the endorsements. Look at the check marks.
Wow.
You know.
Oh, wow.
That should be all you need to know. All anybody needs to know. So here, is this the? Oh no, this is the general. This is the primary. Look how close this was.
Oh my God, it was so close,
She can do
man.
it. She can do it this time.
But I think Henry Sular, he's in a bit of a controversy.
Cuellar,
I could have sworn Cuellar, Henry Cuellar, contra. Oh, there it is. Copy.
Yeah, while you look that up, yeah,
Right.
the first race was so close. She barely lost. She can make up that ground. That ground is easy to make up. Not easy to make up, but she can make up that ground the second time around. She can win. She can definitely win. So if you're a viewer or listener right now that is from Texas, that is in House District 28, please, man, please get out there and vote for Jessica Cisneros. She's great. She's really, really great. And Henry Cuellar is not. He's awful.
Stay away from Cuellar. Damn, couldn't find it. Maybe I was wrong about his controversy, but I had the impression that she has a huge chance of winning because of how close the race was, and he might have hit a little bit of a controversy. Actually, I'm right about the controversy, but that little thing that I sent you, that thing I sent you it's not telling me enough what I want to know.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, controversy is nothing new for these awful fucking garbage politicians. This is also very telling right here. Cuellar had endorsements from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the DCCC. Corruption. This is pure corruption. Cuellar corrupt. Nancy Pelosi extremely corrupt. Inside stock trader, she's trash. The DCCC also corrupt. This is bad. So that's all you need to know about Cuellar and Pelosi. They're both extremely corrupt.
I mean, they take money from corporations, and they benefit those who give them the money. So that's why they're bad. You know what I mean? Just you have to understand that Jessica Cisneros doesn't take any corporate PAC money. So that means her money comes from people like you and me, which means she's beholden to us.
Yeah.
That's what you got to understand. So if you're in Texas, man, do the right thing, bro.
Yep. And then one more. We got, I hope I say his name right, Greg Cesar. I hope. Greg Casar. Whatever his name is.
Casar sounds better.
Greg Casar. Yeah. So he's currently in city council for Austin, Texas.
Nice.
But he's running for Texas 35th Congressional District on March 1st as well. These are the candidates here. This is the one to go for sure. So if you're in this district. Even if you don't live in Texas, you can donate to the campaigns. You can spread the word. You can let people know. Use your voice because it works. So yeah, I just wanted to bring these two races to attention because they have begun. These races have begun right now. These are the first races that have started in the 2022 midterms. So very important stuff. Go support them both, please.
Let's do it. That's a good one, man. It's good that you added them in there. They need all the help they can get, baby. Let's do it. All right, guys. That's it for episode 4. One of my favorite episodes, easily. I thought we gave a lot of positive information out there, baby. So, I hope
episode 4 in the books. Same old. We'll be on Twitch. Eric is on Twitch a whole lot.
You already know. Falco Die Fear with a 0. Someone took my Falco with a O, so it's Falco Die Fear.
Yeah, we'll put links. We'll put links.
We'll put the links. I'm going to start streaming Sifu, the Kung Fu game, and I'm going to break it down by episodes until I beat the game. And that's going to start actually tomorrow night. We're going to be playing Sifu. I want to be able to get Sifu done and then God of War done before, is it called Elden Scroll?
Ring.
Elden Ring. When does that come out? Because that's the one. I want to get these 2 games done before Elden Ring comes out. It's like Dark Souls 3 on steroids. And I'm down for that.
I can't wait for Elden Ring. Sifu, I've been hooked on Sifu. I've been streaming that as well. I streamed it a little bit earlier today. Enjoy that. It's hard as fuck.
Did you beat it yet?
Nope.
Oh shit!
It's hard.
Now you got me scared.
I know you're though, so you'll be all right.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right, brother.
We'll put that below. If you do come across this video, please give us a like, give us a subscription, comment below. It helps with the algorithm. Please show some love, show some support so we can keep this going and keep making some progressive media on YouTube. So with that said, peace.
Peace.